I
just landed in your town.
Yes. We have landed
So they say.
in a town near you. Coming to a town near you.
Welcome, if you're new or if you know, this is
Hashtag just saying the podcast.
The Real Thing.
That's right.
We'll get the formalities out of the way. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. If you fancy, tell a friend or a stranger or an enemy.
That's right.
You can watch the first 40 of the show on the YouTubes. Take us with you on the go, wherever you stream your stuff. You can listen while you shovel. For the hip kids, we're on TikTok at hashtag just saying. It's all one word. We have pre-show banter and trivia on Tuesdays when there's 3 of us.
That's right. I was the quiz master.
You were. That was some hard shit.
The nail biter.
It was. Right down to the final buzzer.
How's everybody?
Right.
Okay. I had.
Yes, did you?
I
Got a pin in it?
So the downside
Of?
of having many occurrences this week was the fact that I had a lot going on. But the upside is that it gives me plenty to chat about now.
All right. Chat away.
I had to have blood work this morning.
All right.
My morning consisted of me getting up at 6, showering. I logged into work. I worked until 7:20. Then went and had my blood test thing done. It took longer than it needed to.
Oh.
And then I came back and logged in and worked until about 10 past 5.
All right. No OT?
Well, that was OT.
Oh.
That was OT. I did about, it was, all in all, when you put the 2 timestamps together, I worked almost a 10-hour day.
Damn.
Yeah.
Working tomorrow?
They would like me to, but I cannot.
Sunday?
Possibly.
Monday?
Not a full day. Not a full day on Sunday. So I went to have the blood work done.
All right.
And I get in, and they kind of like, I'm not going to say they know me well, but I usually have the same tech.
Yeah.
So they see me coming, and I don't have good veins. So she's always like, you again. So I sit down, and she goes, do you have a preference on where I get you? And I said, I would prefer
Once.
yeah. I was like, whatever, wherever you can get me once, and we'll walk away.
All right.
So she...
So they always brag, I'm the best at this.
They always tell me that, and they never are. She's okay. So they do the rubber band thing around the arm.
Squeeze your fist.
I can't tell you how much I hate the rubber band thing.
Let it go slowly.
It pinches so hard. So she does the rubber band thing, and I'm like, and she goes, I'm sorry. She goes, but I have to. And I said, well, then hurry up.
Do your job.
So she starts with my left hand, and I can't look because I get
Squeamish.
I get a little squeamish. And so she started with this arm, and then she goes, we have a problem. And I don't look, and she knows I don't look. So I said, okay. And I said, well, what might the problem be? And she goes, this is really slow. And I said, okay.
You lose. Good day, sir.
And I'm like, okay, well, I'm sorry. And I said, is there anything I could think something and it will hurry it up? Like if I can't push it out for you. And she goes, I can't use this arm. This is bad. And she pulls the thing out and gives me the cotton thing. And I look over, and she attempted to fill 2 vials. So 2 vials have like a whisper of blood in them.
A trickle.
I've trickled. And
A mist.
This is the thing that makes me upset, right? She takes the vials and puts them in the biohazard container. And I went, what are you doing?
It's a waste of blood.
And she goes, well, I'm gonna do 2 new ones. And I said, I worked hard to make that. I said,
I scrimped and saved.
I was like, you literally, it's my blood. You've literally taken my blood. And I was like, and it's not good enough?
That's part of my sacrifice.
Yes. I said, can't we just mix? I was like, the left and the right arm, we can mix the blood, right? It's the same blood. And she goes, well, I'd rather just do 2 new ones. And I said, this is not how you do business. I don't agree with this at all. So she gets me over here, and then it's further up, so it hurts more.
Damn.
And then I was like, ugh. And she goes, and my arm was at like a weird thing. It was kind of like this. And then she goes, do not move. And I said, okay. And she goes, I got a good one. I said, I'll just sit here. I'll think good thoughts, and
Yeah.
we'll. So I'm just sitting there, and she's doing it. And then she asked me, she goes, I just want to check in with you. Are you okay? And I said, yeah, I guess. And she goes, okay. Not a huge amount of time passes, and she goes, are you okay? And I said, you're making me nervous. You keep asking me if I'm okay.
Oh, she's making sure you don't pass out or something?
Apparently I had a look. And she goes, well, you have a look on your face, and I'm concerned for you. And I said, well,
I look like this all the time.
yeah. I was like, I always look concerned. Don't worry about it. I'm always concerned.
Sorry.
So she goes, and this is where the day, my day takes a real dip.
Oh.
She goes, oh, by the way, your doctor ordered a urine sample. And I went,
Couldn't tell me earlier?
and she goes, is there any way you could do that? And I said, if I had known that
Drink some
I
water.
would have to do that, I said I wouldn't have gone before I came here. I said, but I did, so there's no chance. I was like, I can't produce more urine for you.
Not even a trickle?
No, I can't. Not even a drop. Not a drop.
No mist?
Not a drop.
Damn.
So she goes, well, I'll tell you what. She goes, I will give you the stuff, and you can go home and do it, and then come back. She goes, but when you bring
They
it back,
trust you?
yeah, it's not a drug test. So she
Okay.
goes, when you come back, you have to make an appointment to bring it back. And I went, I can't just like walk in and say, here's my pee.
Take my pee.
And she goes, no, you need to make an appointment. So I make the appointment. I made the appointment before I made the urine. And I was concerned after I made the appointment because I made it for my lunch break. I was like,
Same day?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was like, surely I'm going to have to go to the bathroom before lunch, right? Because it's like 8 o'clock in the morning now.
Right.
So I go home and I'm trying to drink stuff. And I'm getting more concerned with the fact that I don't have to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, I shouldn't have made the appointment before I made the pee.
You're overzealous.
I was. I overreached is what I did. Finally, I go, I fill the cup.
Damn.
My cup overfloweth. So they give you like this little baggie to put it in. So I throw it in a little baggie, and and I'm like, okay. So there is something.
so warm.
There is something very disconcerting, like holding your. This is. I'm holding it. I have to.
You weren't expecting this on the
And
show,
no,
were ya?
I bet you didn't tune in thinking you were gonna get this. And I mean, warm is not bad, right? Because it's just left your body. It's the
Right.
temperature of your body.
Right.
It's like, all right, well, this
98.6.
this isn't too unpleasant. But I had to refrigerate it until I could bring it back
Why?
because it had to be refrigerated. Otherwise, you'll grow bacteria.
It's gotta chill.
Okay.
Right. Now, there is something very concerning about holding cold urine. I'm like walking up to the car with it, and I'm like, this is gross.
Damn.
And then I put it in the cup holder. And I was like, oh, like I'm
You
just
put it in
looking.
the front seat and just the seatbelt on?
I do that when I buy a new fish.
You put it in the cup holder?
Yeah, because when I get those betas,
Yeah.
the betas come in similar cups.
Yeah.
It fits perfectly in the cup holder.
I was just like, man, I was just driving and I looked down and there's just a cup of urine in a baggie in my cup holder. I'm like,
Swish, 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 swish.
this is my Friday now. This is great. Oh, man.
At least it's sealed. You don't like to smell it.
No, it's all sealed up.
Right.
And then I walk
It's
in.
not going to ruin the inside of your
No.
car, so that's good.
I would have held it out the window. So I get to
Gotta keep it cold.
I get to the lab, and I had to check in, and you do that on your phone. So I check in, and I'm there like 2 seconds, and she comes busting out of the door, and she yells my full name, and I'm like, that's a bit weird. So it's the same woman from before, by the way. She knows me.
Are there other people in the room?
Yeah, there's a bunch
That's
of
how you know
other
you're in trouble with your parents. They say your full name.
Yeah. So I stand up and she goes, and I thought she was just going to take the bag. So I start like, here you go. And she goes, this way, please. And I'm like, this is a backroom deal? Like, we can't, it's like a drug deal. Like, I can't just hand you the pee and walk away.
Same time.
So we go back into the blood room. And she goes, I just need you to sign a paper that you gave me your urine. And I'm like, okay, well.
She's going to bring it out to you?
No. And then she goes.
That makes sense.
And then I said,
Who else would bring it?
I don't know. So I
Dropping
said,
this off for my wife.
I said, well, you know, your performance at the door was a little exaggerated. And she goes, well, because 2 seconds before you checked in, I thought you were already here. So I went out and I just said your name, your first name. She said, and someone thought I said Karen, and they stood up and started trying to walk out.
No.
I said, Tara doesn't sound at all like Karen.
No.
And she goes, no. I said, I think she just wanted to skip the line.
Yeah.
So
Today I'm Tara.
I guess. Well, you can pay my bills. You can be me. That's my criteria. So,
Nice.
yeah,
So blood's done, pee's done.
I'm done.
What other liquids do they want from you?
He wants everything.
A mouth swell.
I had to see him on Monday. Monday was the big checkup,
Yeah.
right? It was a physical.
Let's get physical.
Oh, God.
Turn and cough? Oh, you don't do that, right? Women don't do the women do the turn and cough?
There's no turn and cough.
Oh, okay.
Damn. Because
lucky.
I
Because it's so embarrassing.
have a hit. Yeah, I'm sure it is. But you know what? I would take a turn and cough compared to other things that ladies have to do.
Right.
So a turn and cough is minute compared to minute. It's minute.
Sorry.
So I walk into my doctor's office and I sit down and they throw the paper gown thing at me. And I said, are we really doing this? And she goes, well, just, you know, she goes, you can keep your pants on. I said, well, that's my criteria.
Don't drop in trowel.
I'm always itching to keep my pants on. So he comes in and they were asking me a lot of questions that I would think they already knew. And I said,
Date of birth.
yeah, he was asking that. So he comes in and he sits down and we're small talking and he's asking me like these questions and I'm like, don't you have this information? And he looks at me so upset.
Oh.
And he goes, we have a new system. And I said, okay. And he goes, so now I have to meet you all over again. I said, well, that's fun. I said, we'll have
firm handshake.
We'll have a whole new get together. And he goes, exactly. So he's asking me all these crazy questions.
Any allergy?
Yeah, so we're going through it, right? And
Do you smoke? Do you drink?
yeah, so they're going through the whole thing. Now,
Not anymore.
so okay, so it was a checkup. So I had to give him my weight, which I've lost weight, but I didn't lose enough where he was happy. So he was like, I'm not.
They're never happy.
So he goes, I'm not happy with this. And I said, well,
You would have loved me recently.
here's the thing, dude. I said, the number that I gave you is actually not accurate. I said, because from right after October through the first of the year, is open enrollment. And I work in health insurance. I said I was doing 10.5-hour days. I said just to get through the day, I was drinking 4 Mountain Dews a day.
Oh, shit.
I said, and then I gained weight, realized I gained weight, stopped, lost that weight, and then this weight that you know. And he goes, oh, okay.
This is the new.
Yeah. So he goes, well, and then he goes, well, I accept that then. And then he was typing away, and then he paused, and he goes, wait a minute. He goes, you were drinking 4 Mountain Dews a day. And I said, yeah, so that I would stay upright. And he goes, 4. And I said, yeah. And he said, I'm not happy about that at all. And I said, well, I don't know what
Not
to
your
tell you.
body. Who gives a shit?
I said, well, I'm not doing it now, if that makes you happy. And he goes, well, you know, I'm just not, he goes, you got to be careful with that. And I said, no, I understand. And then, so he goes back to,
They're so healthy, you know.
so he goes back to what he's doing, right? And then he pauses, and this is like him trying to like relate to me, right? So he's sitting there typing, and then he stops, and he looks at me, and he looks like proud of himself. And he goes, you know, when I was in med school, I tried a Mountain Dew. I started laughing so hard. And I was like, yeah. I said, did you like it? And he goes, I didn't really like it. And I said, oh. I said, so you weren't, you know, they didn't hook you in. But he would, like, the way that he said it made it sound like it was cocaine. Like, oh, I tried Mountain Dew once in college. Like, oh, you rebel.
Yes.
Slow down. Oh, boy, I don't know. So then I told him.
Experimented in college.
Yeah. So then I told him I got a bicycle. And I have a whole story about that later.
Oh, boy.
So he goes, well, I'm happy that you did that. And I said, Jay has one too. So we're going to try to, when the weather's better, like maybe bike ride. And he goes, well, that's fantastic. And he goes, but.
There's always a but.
He goes, I need you to be careful. And I said, about what? It's just like a bicycle, I thought. And he goes, no. He goes, people don't pay attention. You're going to get hit by a car.
Oh, my
I was
God.
like,
Why would you
Jesus
say that?
Christ.
Sorry, Dad.
Damn.
I said, well, I said, we don't really plan on riding on the street. We're going to go like to places you can ride a bike. And he goes, oh, well, that's better then. And I said,
You're winning him over.
yeah, I said, I told my mom I got a helmet. I said, and she was very happy, but still thinks I need bubble wrap. And he started laughing.
Some elbow pads, knee pads.
Yeah, he started laughing, and he goes, well, might be hard to pedal if you're wrapped in bubble. I'm like, no. So then I said, so he goes, can I ask you, what kind of bike is it? And I said, it's just a bike. It's a bike.
Pedal bike.
And he goes,
seat,
Not
two
an
wheels,
electric
handles.
bike.
So he goes, is it one of those e-bikes? And I said, no, it's not.
point of that?
I said, I can't afford an electric bike.
Right, those are like $2,000.
Yeah. And he goes, oh, good. And I said, why are you asking me that? And he goes, well, he said, I have a patient, and he bought an e-bike, and he was riding the e-bike, and he hit a pothole. He said, and it made the e-bike stop. He said, but he kept going. He said he flipped over it.
Oh, no.
He ended up puncturing a lung
Oh, my God.
on the e-bike. I was like,
You can do that with a regular bike, too.
oh, wow.
You hit a pothole with a regular bike, the same thing happens. Not just an e-bike.
Well, I'll let him know that.
Just saying, like,
But he was happy about that. So then he goes, I need you to take your shoes off. And I went, I don't want to do that. And he said,
Objection?
yes. And he said, well, you're doing it anyway. And I was like, you're very sassy today.
very demanding.
You're very sassy today. I don't think I like sassy you. So I did it. And it's just, they check circulation and stuff. And, you know.
You have to take your socks off just to shoot.
No, socks too. So
Socks too?
Yeah, I'm very unhappy.
Damn.
So I did it, and you know, he's like, okay. He just looks, and then he like pokes me, and he's like, yeah, you're all right. And then, so he goes.
Scientific test.
So
You're
he
fine.
goes. So he goes, we're all set. And I said, can I reshoe? And he goes, you may reshoe. And he's kind of chuckling at me. So then, this
Does
is
guy have a name?
yeah. Well, his first name is Brian.
Okay. Brian.
Yeah, me and Brian.
All right. Tara and Brian.
So me and Brian. So then I said, I was asking him a bunch of questions, and you know,
Right.
which I found out apparently, if I ask a bunch of like questions, like health related questions, like during a physical, like they can charge you for an office visit. I didn't know that.
Oh.
So I'm hoping I don't get charged, but if I do, you know, it is what it is.
Physicals are free.
Yeah, they're supposed to be free. So I
But
said,
the blood work isn't.
no. Well, no,
that
the
you
blood
need
work.
for the physical.
No, I have to. No, the blood work should be paid for too.
Cool.
So I said, listen. I said,
What about the pee?
well,
We're gonna charge you for that.
I'm charging him for the pee. So I said, I have one more question, and he goes, I'm here. So, so I said, in both hands, I said, but it's usually my left. I said, these two fingers, my ring finger and my middle finger, I said, they will shake sometimes. And as I put my hand out, they started doing it. And I was like, oh, look, it's doing it now. Because it's like when there's something wrong with your car and it's making a noise and you take it to the mechanic and it doesn't make that noise.
Yep.
Oh, really?
So I was like, oh, look. So he looks at it and he goes, put your both your arms out straight. So I do that. And he looks and they're tremoring a little bit. And he goes, well, you have a little bit of a tremor there. And I said, yeah, I know. That's why I mentioned it to you. That's why I mentioned it to you. And he looks at me and he goes, how much caffeine have you had today?
Oh.
And I said, actually, I haven't had any. I said, in the morning, I have a cup of apple cider. I said, and I drink Gatorade.
Tangy and brown.
And then he looks at me and he goes, 4 Mountain Dews a day. And I said, not today.
Prior.
And he said, well, if
6 months ago.
he said, if it's not caffeine, he said it could be a neurological thing. And I said, well, that doesn't make me feel happy. And he goes, then
It's all
he
in
says
your
to
mind.
me, he says to me, he goes, well, I'll tell you what. He said, if it becomes troublesome to you, I'll send you to a neurologist. And I said,
More money.
well, that's fine. I said, but define troublesome. And he goes, is it bothering you? And I
That's
said,
why she brought it up.
I said, it bothers me when I'm trying to do stuff and my hand's doing this. I said, yeah, that's kind of a bother. And he goes, well, yeah,
Jimmy
but
hands.
yeah, but is it bothering you all the time? I said, listen, I don't need to look into it any further. I was like, it's fine. I said, but I said, I'll keep an eye on the caffeine intake and we'll figure it out. And he goes, all right. So that was that. But he was so happy to throw the Mountain Dews back in my face.
4 a day?
He goes, 4 Mountain Dews a day. And I'm like, not today. My God.
They're so judgmental.
He can be.
You're fucking perfect.
He can be. I'm like, you know.
I've noticed in the past year that my index fingers, I think might be, I don't know, I think both of them did it. But sometimes one of them just starts like moving on its own, like,
Like a twitch.
yeah. And it didn't.
Muscle spasm.
That's why I try to look at it.
I assumed I was going to mention it, and then he'd go, well, it's like a tendonitis carpal tunnel thing because I work on a damn computer all day. And I figured that'd be the end of it. I didn't know he was going to go, well, that could be neurological and you may be troublesome. I didn't know.
If I was in your position, I'm like, well, I don't want to be
Don't you
like
have one
Michael
of
J.
those
Fox.
pads?
What's that?
Don't you have one of those little pads next to your...
No. I just have the keyboard.
Okay.
I don't think that would do anything.
If I had a couple of fingers doing that quite often, I'd be thinking, oh my goodness, do I have,
Parkinson's?
yeah.
Yeah. That's how it starts with a tremor.
It started in one finger for Michael.
Sign your name.
He had it for years.
Yeah. I've been keeping an eye on it. It hasn't done it since I was at the doctor. So I don't know if he frightened it.
At least it did it there, not before that.
I don't know if he frightened it and it was like, oh,
Your brain's like, oh no, he knows.
yeah, he's on to us. Stop.
Stop the finger trailing. Okay.
I have one more very quick and I will turn it back over.
All right.
I had to go.
It's your show. We're just a guest.
No. It's a full week of bullshit this week.
Bullshit.
So I had the doctor. I had the blood work today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I have a scan. That should be fantastic. Tuesday I had the dentist.
Oh boy.
Just a cleaning,
All right.
right? So I go in.
Did they give you a choice of like flavor?
No, I didn't get a choice. I go in and we're doing, we're getting things going.
Right.
And then she's like, okay, so I need you to like lay back in the thing. So I went to go lay back and my pants kind of started to fall off.